Energy pulsing through me. Energy pulsing, pulsing through. Energy pulsing through me.
Hello, this is David Anderson, Networking Online Watchman, here to help you grow your business online. So I'm going to try something different today. I'm going to choose a topic and just kind of go with it. And it's a topic that is not a academic kind of thing like I would typically want to put out there, like a how-to or whatever. And so basically, I was talking with a good friend of mine. I'm going to give him a little shout out right now. His Shafiq Yaqub, and he is of the Prayer Life Ministry. I want to get this right for him. So let's see. He is of the Garden of Prayer Life Ministry of Pakistan. Good friend of mine. Hey George, Howard. I'm actually Lori. But anyway, so he and I have been good friends for a while now, and he's a minister over in Pakistan, and real dynamic guy, and just really growing in his faith, growing in his ministry, and just great things are happening. And so he and I were talking the other day, and an idea came up that I've been living by for a long time, and I want to share with you as somebody, if you're engaging with this as somebody who, hi Mark, if you're engaging with this as somebody who is trying to look at your business online or what you want to do personally, what I want to share with you is going to be critical. Right? If you know me at all, if you looked at my resume, if you've seen kind of my profile thing, and you'll see that I've been involved in many things over the years. Okay, I've got a lot of ministries off the ground, a lot of business ventures, and just a lot of personal endeavors, interests, passions, things that I've done. And so it all comes down to this key thought. And so many of you are familiar with the idea of ready, aim, fire. All right. Well, I'm going to call this little talk "Ready, Fire, Aim." Okay. It doesn't seem like much of a difference, but it's a huge difference. So I want to give you a couple things to think about. And so when you're it has to do with like shooting a gun. You get ready, right? You're going to sit there and you're going to aim. You take all your time and you aim. And when everything's just right, the crosshairs are there and all the ducks are in a row, that's when you fire. Okay, and hopefully you hit the target. Frank, all right, awesome, good. Appreciate you stopping in here. Good to see you. Steve Vincent, all right, there's a buddy I haven't seen in a while. All right, so but in the meantime, what happens is we can get caught up in the paralysis of analysis. Okay, and sit there and plan and trying to get everything just right. Okay, and just waiting for all the money to be there, all the right people on board, having all your documentation in place or all your education in place. Randy, good to see you. All right, but we can get to the point where we're waiting for everything to be just right, and then we'll start. When I have this, when I have that going, then I'll do what I want to do. And I'm telling you, that's not going to happen. All right, and so a couple of things I learned a long time ago. One of them is there was a woman who is the mother of a famous author. I'm guessing some of you like Stephen King, all right? But I'll just call him Billy for now, all right? And so the mother was being interviewed, and so she's like, "What do you think is your son's secret to success?" She goes, "Oh, I don't know. There are so many people that write better than Billy writes. There are so many people that that have much more imagination than Billy has." Okay, and she went on and on and on like this, and so finally she says, all these people that write better than Billy writes, but Billy writes. All right, and so there's something to say with action. All right, and so what I'm saying to you is that for me, I'm not afraid to just get out there. I'm not afraid to take that first step. All right, and in taking that first step, I learn. All right, and so it doesn't have to be pretty, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be something, and it needs to be in the direction that I want to go in, and then answers come, and then resources come, and so I want to share with you a little bit about how even this Facebook Live experience is a great example of that. All right, so I did my very first Facebook Live ever about a week and a half or so, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. In fact, this is only my third one. All right. But so So in that first one, I had done my research the best I could, all right, and so I happen to have an iPhone, and so the people that I researched with told me specifically to turn the phone sideways to get the best shot and all this kind of stuff. So I did that, okay, and I did my Facebook Live, okay, and if you recall, it all came out crooked and weird, and okay, and then I was able to work with that, and I literally spent all day after that going through all kinds of software and processing it and changing it around and reformatting it and getting it just the way it needed to be so that I could represent it as something that I want to share. That whole process was a learning process to me, right? So the second Facebook Live, the one I did last, I turned the phone appropriately, but I noticed that when I formatted it, did my formatting for later on, because I like to create these things and create a library for you, like I told you. For those of you who weren't around on my first one, I'm creating a library here on my YouTube channel, which by the way is LAZYRUS1, Lazy Russ 1, okay, and but I'm going to have a playlist on my channel that's called Ask David Now. Okay, and on that playlist will be my various Facebook Lives that I've done and a library that I'm going to create of resources for you. But anyway, so as I formatted that, I noticed that if I'm standing way up here, okay, that everything from here on down gets cut off. So I'm going to make sure that I stand in the middle, okay, so that I give you the best shot on Facebook, but also that I'm captured in where I need to be for my later formatting. So if you notice that by doing these things, Paul Pelletier, wow, that's great, wonderful to see you. All right, and Stacy, awesome, thank you. So by taking these action steps, I'm making my adjustments as I go, okay, and each one is getting better and better, I hope, all right, and I hope it's a better experience for you. But my point is, get ready, fire, aim, all right? Get out there, do something, assess it, make the adjustment, and move on, all right? And so what will happen is you'll create momentum, okay, and you'll crunch the learning curve. You'll crunch the production curve. So instead of sitting around for 6 months doing nothing and then maybe coming out with something that's pretty good, you might come out in 1 month, do something, and 3 months into the game be far ahead of where you would have been had you planned for 6 months. All right. So in my life experience, I'm telling you that's how I roll. All right. That I'll get as much information as I can, and then I'll just take some steps. And in the action steps, I'm learning, I'm adjusting, okay? Even in my mistakes, I'm learning, because like I told you in that first process there, I did all day of investigating. Hi Doug, great to see you. So it took me a whole day of investigating to find out software and options and what can I do to fix this. And the whole time I'm learning all kinds of stuff and getting things up my sleeve, and now I have software on my computer that's helping me with other projects. So even this Facebook Live process is going to become pretty interesting because I'm taking steps. So along the way, I came across some other software. I can't recall the name of it right now. I'll share with you more about it as I become more familiar with it. But it will allow me to have all kinds of scenes and stuff, an intro scene, outro, and I can bring in other clips and resources and all the kind of stuff for you guys and do a live. Hi, David. Okay, and do a live for you that's very engaging, all right? And again, I wouldn't even be thinking along those lines if I didn't start doing lives. So do you see how I'm saying that? Ready, fire, aim. So I want to encourage all of you who are doing a business, thinking of doing a business, want to transition online, want to do something new, want to do something different in your ministry, in your life. Okay, all these things, it's just a principle that I believe is going to bless you greatly. And if you look at my life, if you look at my resume, if you look at where I've been, you can see that it's blessed and served me tremendously well. All right, and it's made me much more knowledgeable, because the man with experience is never at the mercy of a man with a theory. Okay, so I can sit around all day long and have all this head knowledge. Okay, and you can come along and say, well, this is what I'm doing. Okay, and guess what? You win. All right, because you're doing it. All right, so remember, there are many people who write better than Billy. There are many people who write better than Billy does, but Billy does. All right, and so ready, fire, aim. Have a great day.
Energy. pulsing through, energy pulsing through me. Energy pulsing through, energy pulsing through me. Energy pulsing through.